You're probably wondering what I'm doing down here. Actually, I'm having a pretty good time installing some new shift rod bushings in my 300S DL. I've actually come up with a couple of brand new tools which really make this job easier. I have been so frustrated over the years trying to get those bushings, and not only just the bushings, but the clips as well. But let me tell you, with these new tools, this really makes the job easy. This is the shift rod, which goes between the shifter arm and a lever on the transmission. These plastic bushings are used on the ends of the rod to prevent wear and to reduce noise and vibration. What happens over time is that these bushings will wear out. They just get old, and on real old cars, they'll crack and fall out, and that can be real bad. On other cars, you'll just start to get a wear pattern developing where you'll start to hear rattling in your shifter. That's a real good sign that those bushings probably need to be replaced. In worst case scenarios, these bushings, when they fall out, if both of them fall out, you may not even get the car into park. And in that case, that can be very dangerous. What happens is, you can see here, look at this one. See the amount of play there? And this rod, as you're driving down the road, will rattle, and you'll hear a rattle under the shift tunnel. And you know, the only way to fix this is to replace these bushings. And believe it or not, these are the same bushings that were used in the late 1960s all the way up to the mid-1990s. The exact same part was used on almost all Mercedes passenger cars that had an automatic transmission. Now, getting these bushings on and off with the rod on the bench, or even getting this little clip on and off, is pretty easy. But when you're under the car, it's a totally different matter. And let me show you in detail how these new tools will help accomplish this with this in the car. I mentioned the difficulty of getting this clip on and off, and I'm going to show you right now. If you've got it out on the bench, you can lift up on this tab and pull the clip off like that. But even when you go to put it back on with your hand, it's not that easy. It won't go in the slot and push on. I can fight this thing even on the bench. So just imagine trying to work underneath the car up into the transmission tunnel, trying to get this little clip on and off. You'll drop the clip, it'll snap and fly off somewhere and you can't find it. So I finally decided I had to come up with a tool that would reach up in there and remove the tension from the clip and get the clip off without dropping it. So what this clip allows you to do, or correction, this tool, is you can insert it into the back of the clip, you rotate it. Now notice with this tool, it's not going to fall off. So as you can see in this picture here, you can reach up underneath and put this right on the end of the rod, and once it's in place, you just twist it, and look at that, it snaps right into place. And let me tell you, this little thing is now saving us a ton of frustration. I mean, even my mechanic has said for years, one of the most frustrating things on doing these shift bushings has been this clip. So I think we've solved that one. You know, I can still remember when I first encountered this little bushing about 15 years ago. I looked at it and thought, well, that's kind of a clever design. We should be able to just pop that right out and pop a new one in, right? Well, first thing is I tried to push it out with my thumb, and you know, I'm working with this lever off the transmission out of the car. Once again, imagine trying to do this under the car up in that transmission tunnel. And I found out there's no way I can push that out by hand, especially if it's old and age hardened. So I got under there trying to use a screwdriver and pliers and all kinds of things. And I thought, wow, this is really lame. And I found out that this wasn't going to be something that you could do with just standard hand tools. So over the years, I've tried a couple different things, but lately I've wanted to come up with an even better tool. And this is what we recently developed here in our shop. It's a little bit more difficult making this than that little clip tool I showed you earlier. But while messing around with this tool, one of the things we found was that this tool can also remove these bushings, because sometimes getting the old bushing out can be almost as much work as installing the new one. So by taking this tool and coming at it at an angle like this, I can push on it And you can see I can just snap that old bushing right out of the hole. Now when you go to install a new bushing, I'm going to show you this out of the car because it's very difficult to get into there and film. But imagine you're reaching up in there like this with this tool, lining this up in the hole, and then you start to squeeze, and as you squeeze, you just rotate it a little bit, and look at that. The new bushing is installed. Now you have to admit, that's pretty easy, but until you've tried it under the car, you can't believe how nice it is. Once again, having the right tool to do the job really makes this job easy. So if you're interested, check out these new tools on my website. We're going to offer these as a set and individually. Just go to www.mercedessource.com and put shift bushing tool in the search box, and it will take you right to them.